What is up, all? Happy Taco Tuesday here on Pitchfork Lunch. I am Michael Caratanito, as you know, your daily wonderful host around the wonderful world that is Sun Devil Athletics. At Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as, yes, you know it, the Twitter. And you can see the show live on my IG, michael.caratanuto.5, as you know, if you want to catch it live there. Also, you can go to the YouTube. I know I tell you every day, I remind you, but I'm just saying, got to throw it out there. You've missed a ton of good interviews, coaches, players, insiders, voices, people just engulfed in Sun Devil country. So I'm just saying, if you've missed any, go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005 at MVC005 on the good old YouTube, and subscribe away. And you can get all caught up. You can binge watch. You can have a ton of fun with it. And, you know, comments obviously always are welcome. Let's keep it on up and up. Yes, as I know, not everything is, like I say, rainbows and unicorns. But yesterday, pretty big day recruiting-wise. Also, the bombshell, the breaking news that dropped during the show that Ed Woods has entered the transfer portal, which, I mean, look, for Coach Dillingham to say he was surprised, I'm, again, just talked to Ed Woods a little bit ago and at practice, and yeah, again, so things are surprising. Things can be surprising, but Ed Woods has entered the transfer portal. So we shall see what happens. But also big news on the recruitment front, landing a getting a verbal commitment from a 2025 um, corner and also a safety. So that was pretty good. But losing Ed Woods for this upcoming season, I mean, I've talked a ton, and yes, I do love defense. Not that offense doesn't matter, isn't important, as we all know it is, right? But I love defense. And that being said, like the depth that they've added, the guys that have come in at corner, but the depth that they've added, well, the depth, the players they had coming back, and obviously just in the secondary in general, and then the guys that they brought in through the transfer portal that Coach Dillingham and the staff have added. Like I said, it has a very very in my opinion solid chance to be an unbelievably phenomenal secondary. So, but with what they can do on defense, and yes, it's going to take work, and we'll see how it goes. But um, yeah, I mean, look, you got to get play from the defense line up front. The linebackers, which I know I haven't talked a ton about, but have looked good in spring practice thus far. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It is very. I always say, obviously, this time of year, like I said, hope springs eternal, spring ball. Obviously, hey, the spring game coming up on Friday. It's at 6:00 at Mountain America Stadium. Obviously, open to everybody here. There's going to be fireworks afterwards, so that is very cool. But Friday night, get on out there. 6:00. It's free to people, so come on out and watch the maroon and gold annual spring game on Friday night. Get on out there. Hit me up in the comments. Message me. Hit me up on the on X, on Twitter at Diablo00. If you're going to be out there, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, I mean, this is an exciting time of year, to say the least. As we spring game, obviously, beach volleyball heading into postseason, women's golf, who has been just disgustingly dominant, which again is it's a great thing. They're all headed into their postseasons as well. I think women's golf is hosting. I want to say they're hosting. Up in, I want to say Carefree in the North Valley. But yeah, so, and they've what head coach Missy Farquet has done is just, again, awesome. But yes, I can tell you what golf I know it's in Carefree. I know that really helps, because anybody living in Arizona, you could be like, oh yeah, it's a golf course in Carefree, even though there's a few up there. Better yet, say it's a golf course in in Scottsdale or Phoenix, right? Yeah, some golf course in Phoenix, that narrows it down a ton, right? But yeah, that totally narrows it down a ton. I know the comedy of that. I don't know what just made me think of that, but like totally off tangent, like in Beverly Hills Cops, like she was a 6 foot blonde, and he's like, and he looks at him, he's like, oh, that helps. They grow on trees out here. Um, but yeah, anyway, that being said, but yes, they are the Pac-12 Women's Championship, and which started on Sunday. My apologies. I thought it was starting today. Shows what I know. Geez, with all my dates I have written down in all my notes. But um, so yes, today is the final day, and they are up in Pullman, Washington. Um, so they were 11 over on Sunday, and they were tied for fifth. Then they were yesterday. They finished 4 over. Well, they went from 11 over down to 4 over. So they were 7 under for the round, which is awesome. And now, um, so they were 7 under yesterday. And let's see. We'll get to it in a minute, but they were 7 under yesterday. So they went from 11 over, like I said, to 4 over. And today being the final round. Oh, um, of the Pac-12 championships, which are up in Pullman, Washington, by the way. So Washington State, yes, hosting that. So I'm sure it's a teeny bit cooler up there. Yep, hit 100. We're all thrilled, right? Everybody's thrilled. Got that out. Good, good. Yeah. I hope you get the extreme tone of sarcasm on the good thrilled part. Um, but yeah, let me see if I can get some live scores up here from today. As like I said, I mean they have had. I mean uh this team. Yeah, so they were tied for fifth after day one. I said fifth, but tied for fifth at 11 over. Then they shot 7 under yesterday to go to 4 over, and they're in fifth by themselves. Let's see. Team leaderboard. Wow. Wow. Yeah, Stanford is 20 under par because this is taking place at the Palouse Ridge Golf Course in Pullman. Stanford is 20 under par and up top. USC is 11 under in second. Oregon in third at one shot back at SC at 10 under. Then UCLA is 6 under. And Stanford's 4 under today so far. Southern Cal's 1 under. Oregon is 4 under. UCLA's 5 under today. That team down south is 2 under. Washington's 4 under. ASU, there were 2 over for the day. Cal's 5 under, but they're still 12 over for the tournament. Oregon State's at +1 today, and they're 17 over for the tournament. Man, Washington State drop 4 spots. They're +13 today on their home course, and they are 20 over. And then Colorado is 4 over today, and they're 22 over. Just think of that. That's a 40-stroke difference, 42-stroke difference between Colorado and Stanford at 20 under. I'm not laughing at them. It is tough. Obviously, I would be, about 150 over, obviously. But, man, that's just when you numbers like that, I just I'm like, whoa. But yeah, so far Arizona State's +2 today, looking to see if they can climb up. They are tied for 5th as they are 6 over with that team down south and Washington. So that's where they are. If we look at the player leaderboards, man, Catherine Park from SC is 11 under. She's 1 under today. And then we have both Kiara Romero and Miga Gane of Stanford at 7 under, and then Kelly Zhu of Stanford is 6 under. And then Charlotte Black from U of A is 4 under. Southern Cal's Brianna Navarrosa is 4 under. And then Grace Summerhays from ASU is 2 under. And she is tied for 7th. So trying to make that push into the top 5 as they're through 14 today. She's 200. She's +1 today is Summerhays. And then let's see. And then Beth Coulter of Arizona State, she is 2 over. She's 2 over today. So she was even par through 3 rounds. But Coulter, or 2 rounds, sorry. Coulter is 2 over today through 14. And she is tied for 28th. So yeah, Grace Summerhays, again, -2 overall, but oh, it looks like that updated because Grace Summerhays is -2 overall, and she's 2 under today. So she was even through 2 rounds as well, but she's 2 under through 15, and then she is tied for 7th, like I said. And then Beth Coulter again was even through 2 rounds, and she's 2 over for the tournament, 2 over today. And then we have Ashley Menny, who's even today. She was 4 over through 2 rounds. So, yeah, playing well. She's wow. I mean, you talk about a charge of 2 rounds for Ashley Menny. She's 4 over, but she shot a 79 in the first round. And then she was 10 strokes better, shot a 69 in round 2. Yeah, so she was 7 over and then 10 shots better, but 3 under. So she's 4 over, and she's even today through 16 so far. So looking to finish strong and maybe get a few birdies on the way out. So you got Grace Summerhays, Beth Coulter, and then Paula Schultz Hansen is actually ahead of Menny. She's 3 over for the tournament. She's 2 over today. She shot a 76 in round one and then a 69 in round two. So again, 4 over and then 3 under. So she was 1 over, and like I said, 2 over today. But through 16 has a chance to get back to even par, maybe a little bit lower. For Beth Coulter as well. And Beth Coulter. All right, so hold on. So we had Grace Summerhays, like I said, and then Beth Coulter, yeah, who's 2 over. She shot 73. She was 1 over and then 1 under. So she was even going into today, like I said, +2. So Summerhays tied for 7th, Coulter tied for 28th, Paula Schultz Hansen tied for 30th, and then Ashley Menny tied for 33rd. But yeah, she's even today. So after the first round, she's really, I mean, that's phenomenal. To be 10 strokes better. Yeah. Okay, golfers, right? Sign me up, right? As everybody's raising their hands for that one. But so yes, that is where women's golf is at, still going today. But when we look, like I said, at the team leaderboard, yeah, Southern or Stanford at 20 under. Oh, Southern Cal actually picked up a stroke. They are 12 under now. ASU, oh well, they picked up another stroke too because they went back to 5 over. So they were 4 over going in today, but now they're in 5th. So they're 5 over. Again, making a charge. I mean, look, they're it would take Stanford to shoot a lot of Stanford SC and Oregon to shoot a lot of snowmen and put UCLA in that too. But again, ASU can separate themselves from Washington and Arizona. But yeah, +1 today, trying to get back under par today. And like I said, round one, 11 over at 299. Then they were 7 under in round two, shot a 281. So yeah, you'd love to drop it to if they could drop it to 273, 74 in this round, 75. I mean, still you take another, 6, 7 shots off. But yeah, they can still get to under par in the so they are in 5th. Again, UCLA would have to have a nice meltdown for ASU to hit 4th. But yeah, Stanford, I mean, they pretty much just have to I mean, what they're on 7, 8, or they're through 7, 8, and 7 through 9. So they're just finishing up the front 9, obviously. They'd have to melt down, but nonetheless, I mean, like I said, when you look at the leaderboard for Stanford, Catherine Park, man, 12 under par. She's 2 under today. She was 2 under. She shot a 70 in round one, which you're like 2 under, not a bad start, right? Then she shoots 8 under, 64. And I will say Charlotte Black in round 2 also shot a 64 from U of A, but she was 5 over. Yeah, she was 5 over, and then what? That's so then she was 3 under. She's 1 under today, so she's at 4 under, and she's tied for 5th. But yeah, you go from 70, 2 under par to 8 under par, and now she's 2 under again today. So she is just throwing absolute darts. Is Catherine Park. Grace Summerhays, so -2. And like I said, she was even, and she's -2 today, tied for 8th. So she's got a chance. I mean, she's tied for 8th right now, but she could, I mean, she does have a shot. She could get up to 5th. She could get up to 5th, 4th is, I mean, maybe. What's she today? Well, hold on. She's through 15. She's got 3 holes. Even if she birdie, well, she could get to 5 under. So she gets to 5 under, depending on what, people behind her do. But she gets to 5 under. She could definitely be guaranteeing herself a top 10 finish. Summerhays also Let's see, where is Beth Coulter? Well, she's still at +2 today. So um, she's through 14. So again, 4 more holes. You birdie 3 out of 4. She can finish 1 under. I mean, again, she can get to under par. So, and they've had a hell of a season. So get more into that. But again, championship golf. I know, Pac-12 tournament. We love it. And then the regionals are May 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I'll have to search for because the NCAA Women's Golf Championships are in Carlsbad, California, May 17th through the 22nd. Just a heads up. But yeah, but the regionals come up after Pac-12 play, so they'll have about a week and a half between that and the NCAA regionals. But it's to be determined where it's at still. So that I don't have, but I can find. Hopefully, I can find before the end of the show. So, baseball, softball. Again, talk about yesterday. Softball had the tough 3-game series. Territorial Cup with the team down south, dropping all 3. But look, like I said yesterday, and I know I always say this, I reiterate, because it's not about silver linings, it's not about moral victories, but yes, a team that's banged up, yes, a team that's looking to make plays, but Deb Jones, what she's done on the mound, how she's grown, taking more of the pitching duties, the pitching load, whatever you want to say, like. That's why I asked Coach Barlow when I played that sound, like the second time through, not even the lineup, but the second time if she sees a team twice in a 3-game series, and this was the first game for Arizona. I mean, she went back. I mean, they both went back and forth. It was 9-8, the final on Sunday. But what Deb Jones has done, again, just absolutely stellar. And it gets lost in the record, obviously, because they're under 500 and at the bottom of the Pac-12 in the standings. Yes, we've said this, but you can't sit there and look at me and say it's for a lack of effort. And yeah, I mean, coach, you can see, like, sometimes she'll feel that, certain plays should have been made, but I think the discipline at the plate, I think how the team overall, is giving themselves opportunities, ever since the 27,000th, visit to the pitcher's mound against Utah. When Utah did that, yeah, I was not crazily thrilled about that, but it's like you see efforts, and then you see some plays where it's like, okay, pseudo tough play, but that's a play that needs to be made. That's what needs to happen on this play. So yes, it is back and forth. It is a young team, and some of the youngsters, like Coach has said, of the baptism by fire. And when you look at that part is again just absolutely huge, because you need when you make those plays, again, that's going to separate you from, a 1-run win and a 1-run loss, right? So it's in and of itself, yes, you see things there. Do you love the record? No. Is Coach Bartlett at all, satisfied? But yeah, you bring players in, they got to make plays. But think of it too this way: this will be her second recruiting class next year that's coming in. So that part is one of those things where yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where when you think of it, it's exciting to see. But again, it starts with the pitching. What do you have in the mound? And yes, not everybody's going to get that, 125, 150 pitcher a game, dominance, but you have good pitchers that can do that, you know, that can do that. And to me, that's what, when I see from this team, that's what I definitely, like to see. So, yeah, but anyway, sorry, got a little carried away, got excited about the golf, but yeah, still just, and again, we've seen real quick from the women's side, we've seen scores. We've seen scores like that from, in Pac-12 championships before, like Stanford at 20 under. I mean, somebody just gets crazy. I mean, they're playing crazy good, and you could almost say literally, like, out of their minds. But I mean, to see it to be 20 under and just coming down, you get through the front nine and you got a 9-shot lead. So it's it's again, it's not ASU, not thrilled, but again, it is still awesome to see a stellar performance like that. But I'm going to step aside. When we get back, I promise you, because I talked to Coach Mons the other day after practice. Obviously, Bryce Pierre talked about hitting the transfer portal. When we get back, we're going to hear from Coach Mons about that, about the tight ends in the room, and about what they're what he's obviously looking for going forward. So I will step aside, and we will have more to come here on Pitchfork Lunch. All right, we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X. You see the show live there every day, same bat time, same bat channel, 12 to 1, and my IG, michael.caratino.5, as well as YouTube. You can watch it live on YouTube, my YouTube, but if not, go to my YouTube channel. Well, you should go subscribe anyway, but go to YouTube, go to my channel and subscribe. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe away. And you won't miss any interviews, any sound like the one coming up. Yeah, you won't miss any of that, and you can get all caught up. And yeah, you can get all caught up, and which is awesome. But you can get all caught up about with coaches, players. Again, 150th episode. this past Thursday, and I got Coach Dillingham on. I've had obviously Coach Regal on from football, Coach Ward, Coach Mons, and Coach Dillingham was gracious enough, like I said, to come on for the 150th episode. So huge ups there. And to think about it, like when you look at it, you've missed a lot. If you think about it that way, you have missed a lot. So, and again, awesome sitting down with Coach Dillingham, just like it's been awesome, first coach with Coach Van Neal back in the fall from women's volleyball. And they're actually headed to Brazil, by the way, at the end of May. So, yeah, they are headed to Brazil to partake in some matches. And I'm looking to get love to get Coach Van Neal on before that, before they go and before we wrap the show for summer break. So we'll work on that. But yes, it's one of those things where you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel and yeah, but I mean, they had to go to Brazil and play in warm. I mean, before, obviously the fall starts and the rest of their summer break, but to get that kind of trip in, and I mean, again, talk about team bonding. That is pretty cool to say the least. But that's just me. I wish they needed a luggage carrier. That's all I can say. Because my Portuguese might not be the best, but I could get by with some Spanish. I'm thinking, and carrying bags. I'm definitely a quality helper for that. But anywho, I digress. Yeah. So Bryce P. air transferred, and I talked about talking to Coach Mons the other day, and I said I wanted to get that to you guys, and I did not forget. Yeah. So without further ado, here is Sun Devil tight ends coach Jason Mons.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's modern college football. It is what it is. I mean, I think guys, you get to this point in the spring, you start getting a feel for where you stand, and I think people have two choices. You can stay and compete and grind and fight, or you can go, hey, maybe there's a better opportunity somewhere else. And so, like Coach Dillingham said today, we want dudes that want to be here. We don't want to guarantee anything. We don't want to hand you anything. Like, come out and fight and compete, and we're going to play the best guys. And if guys don't buy into that, they're not right for us, and they're not right for the culture we're building. So I have nothing but great things to say about Bryce. He's a human being. He's a great kid, and I'll miss his presence in the room. Wish him the best. But I'm fired up about the culture we're building in the room. The job, like if you watch Cameron Harpel today, he was flying around, finishing guys, playing physical. Marquise Douglas is a physical presence. And that's really, we're trying to flip the script in the tight end room from last year where those guys were more worried about their touches and catches and run after catch. So I was like, man, that's not the tight end. The tight end position starts by setting the tempo up front with physicality, and then everything else builds off of that. And so that's the mentality we're trying to build in the room. And we're going to recruit to that, and we're going to coach to that. And the guys that buy into that are going to be the guys that stay and play, and the guys that don't fit in, whether not a buy-in issue necessarily, but if they just don't fit that culture, then they got to find a place where they fit better, where they feel like they can be the most successful. So, that's where we're at. Obviously we got to build our depth back up, and we're excited. We got a great signing in the 24 class that's coming in. We're excited about. We'll go find probably a more experienced guy, and I think we've got a really good board in the 25 class. Some really good players, and we have the ability to take two in that class, a Y and an F, and so we're excited about the trajectory we're going. But I'd rather have a smaller group of dudes that buckle up and get after you than a larger group of guys that are worried about touches and the things that aren't important in the position.
So from your standpoint, at least for this coming season, what's the target in terms of scholarship, guys? Is it 4? You said so. You have Jaden coming in, that makes it 3. Maybe add an experienced guy that's 4.
I think 5 is the ideal target number for our room. I think it falls between 4 and 6. 4 is a bare minimum. 5 is probably ideal, but a lot of that lines up with other things and where the scholarships are allocated in other positions. And sometimes you might be behind the scholarship until you can get one off the books, and then you can add one back in. So it's ever evolving and changing. But 5 is the ideal number. We played with 4 last year. I think if we have 4 guys that are game ready caliber guys, then that's plenty of depth. So yeah, we definitely need to add one guy that can come in and contribute. So we're the bat signal is out, and I'm on PFF watching film every day. I was at my daughter's school dance at the elementary school watching film last night of potential targets. So yeah, that's college football. It is what it is. I don't know any different. So it's like, you hear people going, him and Hana complaining. Well, that's all I know. So let's just do what you got to do.
You spoke with Jaden for a while after practice. How is he coming along? Like, obviously, he's coming back from the ACL injury. In terms of his timeline, if you know anything about that.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, get him. We should be ready to go by fall camp. We'll be cautious with him. We're not going to rush him or anything like that. But he's a worker. He's a great kid. Comes from a good family, and so you recruit guys to the room that fit the culture of the program and of the room. And so I think he will really be that guy that comes in and be a big part of the foundation. Even though he's a young guy, he'll be a part of the foundation of what we're trying to build in this program, and me specifically in the tight end room.
So to clarify, the earliest he could return would be.
I'm not the team trainer or doctor like that, so I'm not going to tell you this.
You talked about blocking as being a foundational component to building the culture in your room. Heinz Ward came in, one of the first things he said was don't talk, remember to watch. In what ways has the culture sort of transcended just one position, but been something that pervades, the entire unit?
Yeah, I mean that's been the mentality that I came in with, and that we've tried to really ramp up, especially going into this season. Was like the physicality of the position is the key, and we can't worry about anything else. We can't control the play calls. We can't control the targets. We can't control the progression or the coverages of the things that would get the quarterback to us. But we can control how we come off the ball and how we attack and how we strain and trigger when the ball's away from us. Like, we can control that at every snap. And so that's it. It's just setting a standard of elite effort, of elite finishing, elite physicality, and then holding the standard high. And that's kind of where we're at. I tell our guys, we aim for perfection, we settle for excellence. And that's kind of that's it. And I'm going to coach them hard, and we're going to call it out. I have a cut up every day that I show of plays that we think are soft, and it's sponsored by Charmin toilet paper, and so we go through it. It's like, it's kind of funny, but it's also not. And guys don't like to be on there, and they get defensive. And I was like, it's good. You should take it personal if you show up on the Charmin commercial, So, but that's it. We're trying to set that mentality. It's a daily thing. We search for it. We actually had one the other day where we had helmets and spiders on. And they're like, we can't have a Charmin cut up when we didn't have pads on. I was like, hey man, you had a helmet and spiders on. We can still be physical. So I think it's just that. It's got to be preached. It's got to be daily. It's got to be the standard. And so you set the standard high, and then you keep fighting to it. And when you reach the standard, then if you reach the standard, it means the standard's not high enough. You got to push it higher. Mm-hmm. And so that's all we're trying to do.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
And to piggyback what you're saying off the transfer portal, I mean, you said, I get it's all you've known, but in recruiting, I mean, do you find it tougher? Because not that the athletes you're recruiting don't want to compete, but they almost kind of might be like, well, okay, I'll see how I like them. I want to be there. I want to compete, but it's almost kind of, I'd say the 1 foot out the door syndrome, but I mean, is that tough to pick up?
I'll compare to this. This is all I know. I spent 16 years at Saguaro High School. In Arizona high school football, it's open enrollment. Kids can go wherever they want to go. And then they get there and they can transfer. So it's really not much different, right? I mean, you're not entitled to kids. They don't have to come to your school, and they don't have to stay at your school. So, but at the same time, that's why our high school, we built a culture where if you didn't want to be there, go somewhere else. And I tell them, I'll sign the paper for you. But if you're here, you need to fight for what it says on the front of your jersey. And yeah, we all have individual aspirations and goals and things that we're trying to do. But at the end of the day, this culture, this place, it's about Arizona State. And it's about building this program and getting back to relevance and playing in meaningful games, right, late in the year. And so that's what we're trying to recruit. And if guys need to be coddled or held to a different standard, they're not for us. And so we need to target and recruit the right guys. You're not going to bat 1,000%. Guys get here and they're not bought into that, or maybe thought they were, but things change. Then you got to be willing to have honest conversations. And if it's not a good fit, then they got to do what's best for them, and we got to do what's best for us. And that's what it is. But I mean, for me personally, I dealt with 16 years of that. Of like, hey, we'd like to keep this kid here. He's a good player, but if he's not going to buy in, man, then he's got to go somewhere else. And we want kids that wanted to be there, that cared about the history and the tradition, and the brotherhood and all that. this is just on a bigger scale,
right.
you know. And so I think we're going, and it starts with Coach Dillingham. He preaches that, and I love the message today to guys. It's like, hey man, if you don't want to be here, go. But if you're here, we're not going to coddle you and love you up and scale back practices because we're worried about. No, man. Like, if you don't want to be here, go. And the guys that are here that want to be here, let's freaking go to work. And I loved it. And the kids bought into that. We had a great practice. Might have been our best practice of the spring because that was the message. And the kids that are here want to be here.
Is there an ideal timeline on bringing another person into the tight end room?
Yeah, like yesterday. You know, Marquise said, hey, we're the three amigos. And you know, it's because we've got one of our walk-ons has been out all spring. So we're thinking we had 3 guys taking reps today. You know, obviously as soon as possible, but not at the risk of bringing in the wrong guy. And so we got to do our due diligence. You know, it's speed dating. You know, you gotta be good. I had the 40-year-old version speed dating scene in my head for a second there, but I don't want to quote that because it's probably not sufficient. You know, probably not appropriate for TV. But no, I think it is. We got to speed date. We got to find, you know, we got to find the right fit culturally, and I think that's where relationships come into play. And I had a couple calls yesterday. I made calls to guys that recruited Saguaro High School 7-8 years ago that are connected to kids that are in the portal, and then you get real feedback on guys, and I think that's huge. And so relying on relationships, trust in film, not getting caught up in stars or anything like that, but putting the film on and watching and seeing how guys compete, and seeing if they fit the scheme. You know, it's like, hey, there might be a guy out there that had a ton of catches and a ton of yards on this, but he won't put his face on somebody. Well, he's not going to fit what we're doing. And so we got to find guys that are the right fit for what we're going to ask that position to do.
You mentioned a couple of weeks ago the tight end, the guys you brought in, versatility and kind of their skill sets. Is there a skill set you're looking to fill now that maybe this room doesn't have?
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy that can open up and's got a little juice, has got some twitch, but like, we're not recruiting receivers to the tight end room. Like, you have to be a complete tight end. So that side of it's nice to have a guy that we can flex out that can go to work on guys. But if that's all he does, he's only gonna be on the field for 20% of the time. So we got to find that guy that's really a true hybrid that can do it all. You know, obviously Marquise and his size and his physicality. You know, we feel really good about that. I think Harp has gotten better and better and better every day, and he's kind of your utility knife. He can kind of do it all. He's physical, and he can put his hand down. He's pretty good when he's flexed out and all that. So yeah, I think finding somebody that's complementary to those guys. But yeah, this time spring portal, beggars can't be choosers a little bit. I think you got to find the best overall fit, and you can't put too many caveats on what that is. We need quality depth. We need guys that can take snaps. We need guys that can play special teams. Like, we need guys that can come in and contribute. And then we'll try to look to continue to build off of that as we go forward with our high school recruiting and down the road as things transpire. So yeah, I mean, we're excited with where we're at. We need to add some pieces, but I think we're building the right culture, and we need to continue to recruit to the culture that we want.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
And you heard him right there. I mean, it is speed dating, which is kind of funny in the 40-year-old version scene. That's hilarious. That is definitely hilarious for those that have seen. Or not seen, but anyway, it's a very hilarious thing. But Coach is right; might not be too TV friendly. But yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be tough when you lose somebody. I mean, Bryce Pierre's going to be that guy. I mean, 6'7", 6'7" ish. I mean, in that area, and you just get a big tight end, and he decided. He said, and again, Coach Dillingham is going to. He's like he said, and even Coach Mons just said, have honest conversations with players. You want to be there, you don't want to be there. If you do want to be there, then let's get to work. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. And yeah, when your bodies are a little low, but like you said, they have it was a Jaden Fortier who was out of Oregon coming in the fall, and yeah, coming off of injury, but we'll see, and like Coach Mon said, they're obviously going to, take their time and not rushing him with that. So, I mean, yeah, it's good, but yeah, to add another tight end, I think would be a big part of the portal. And now you have to think about adding another quarterback as well, since Jaden Rashada hit the transfer portal. So, I mean, it's but it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. Like you said, I mean, the one, going through Saturday practice with 3 of them, and then it's it's a little bit of a challenge, but they're getting that work in, and then, like I said, they're going to work, and you're not going to complain about it. So I'm going to take one more quick break. When we get back, though, on the other side, just go dive around news and notes with men's and women's tennis. Obviously, like it's a little golf, women's golf, and then men's golf as well, as they get set to host Pac-12s this weekend. Friday. I want to say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of the two, as they're hosting. But I'll get into that. Other news and notes when we come back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Jump. Good. Simultaneous. Drop, strike. Ready, go. Simultaneous hip. Good. Let's go on a jog. And there you go, a little action from spring practice as from yesterday. Again, you see little one-on-one battles, obviously with the DBs and the receivers, D line. Again, getting their when you're not awake, you always come up with the funniest of things in your own mind, and I do that because being a Sun Devil, whatever, I can do that. But I said that the D line and Coach Regal's working with them there, Coach Amy as well, but doing their best Cobra Kai imitation, strike first, strike hard. I was entertained by it, but nonetheless, if you thought it was too cheesy, you can get me in the comments. I'm surprised Low Tone didn't catch on to or pick on me for that one, but nonetheless, let's see other news and notes real quick. So Grace Summerhays, is even par right now. She's 3 over today, and she's tied for 17th at the women's Pac-12 championships in Pullman, Washington. Washington State being the gracious host. And she is the highest of the Sun Devils at even par. So that she's even today through 17. So there's a chance to get under par if she could birdie 18. And then we have, Ashley Menny and Beth Coulter are both 3 over. But Menny is shot 1 under today, and in her final round to get to 3 over. So under par for Menny, who shot a 79 and then a 69 and a 71. So, yeah, I mean, she was 7 over and then 4 under the rest of the tournament. So, yeah, tough first round, but, man, that's what you love, the battle back. And for Coach Missy Farquet's team, I mean, it's not that it's happened every time, but her and her teammate Beth Coulter tied for 30th, both at 3 over. Coulter was even. She shot a 1 over 73 in round 1, and then shot a 1 under 71. So she was even. She's 3 over today. She's through 17. So on the 18th, there's a shot to go. Maybe she could birdie it out, get to 2 under. And leapfrog her teammate. And then Paula Schultz Hansen shot a 76, was 4 over in the first round, and then shot a 69 to come back. So she was 4 over and then 3 under. So she was 1 over going today, but then she shot she shot 4 over today again, 76. So she finished up +5, tied for 34th. And then Patience Rhodes, it was 9 over par for the tournament, the freshman, as she shot 1 over today. But she shot 2 over 2 over in the first round, then 1 over in the second round. And then today was 6 over par for the freshman, but a hell of a season she had. As well. So that is where they are at the team leaderboards real quick. Stanford is 23 under. 23 under par. So they've dropped another 3 shots in the time that we've talked about this. They're 23 under par for the tournament, 7 under today. USC is 14 under, and they're 4 under today. Man, UCLA, they are 10 under, and they are charging. They are 9 under today alone. So they're tied with Oregon. Oregon is also 10 under, but they're 4 under for today. And then Washington is at 5 over. But 5 for the tournament. They're 5 under today. And then both ASU and U of A are +7. Arizona's minus 1 under today. ASU 3 over. But the chance again to shrink that. They got still a few more golfers out last few holes, so you can get a few birdies. You get back to even par. So put yourself right in there. But Washington, 5 under today as they're 5 over. So ASU though 17 and 18 as is Washington State. But it's winding down there, to say the least. Pardon me. And news and notes on the men's golf side, by the way, they're hosting, like I said, and they start Friday. I want to say they start this Friday. They start this Friday, real quick, and they are at Desert Forest Golf Club in Carefree. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's see. It's going to be an all-day thing, but I'm guessing it'll start probably about 8 a.m., 7 a.m. Let's see if they put the times on there. If not, I will find out for tomorrow's show. I shall find out what I shall find out for tomorrow's show as to in what time they will be getting started. So on Friday. But the all right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if they have it on here. If they I think they would. Oh, it just says all day. So I'm guessing probably the first tee times are 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I will find that out tomorrow, though, and pass that on. But, all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up in Carefree. So, yes, that being said, at the Desert Forest Golf Club. So, yes, it is a very, very scenic, very beautiful golf club. So, again, try and get out there for it. And on that note, too, men's tennis, they got a nice victory last they're 16-8 on the season, 4-2 in conference play. They won 3 in a row. They're 7-3 at home, 5-3 away, 4-2 at a neutral site. So, yes, for Coach Harris, absolutely rocking it. And they went up to Washington last Saturday, this past Saturday on the 20th, and they won 4-2. They won 3 in a row. They beat Utah April 12th in Tempe, that Friday, April 12th in Tempe. And then they went up to Oregon to take on number 57 Oregon, and they beat them 4-1. And then they turned around and beat Washington 4-0. And then so Thursday, They will be taking on Cal in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament in Ojai, California, which is at Libby Park this Thursday, 9 a.m., just so you know. But then they're there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So Saturday's all day. And then April 27th, the championships at 5 p.m. And it's going to be on Pac-12 Los Angeles, just to give you a heads up. But yeah, Murphy Castone's had a hell of a season too. I mean, overall, they've had a hell of a season. On the men's side. So, and then for women's tennis, by the way, they are, for Coach McInerney, they are also getting ready for Pac-12s. They're getting ready for Pac-12s. But they also did win their 6th straight, kids. And I know I should have mentioned this. I'm so annoyed. Against that team down south, Territorial Cup points, 14-8 overall. 14-8 overall, 6-4 in conference play. They've won 6 in a row. 10-3 at home, 3-4 away, 1-1 on a neutral site for Coach McInerney. And let's see. They have, they just beat they dropped to number 9 USC back on March 16th. They lost that 4-0. But then after that, they have dusted off 6 in a row against number 61 Oregon. They won 4-0 up in Eugene. Then they returned home to take on Washington State, beat them 4-2. Then stayed home to take on number 25 Washington, beat them 4-0. And then went up to Salt Lake City to take on the Utes, and they beat number 48 Utah 4-0 as well. 4 matches to 0. And then on April 14th, they went over to Colorado, and beat the Buffaloes, number 75, 4-0. And then this past Saturday, the 20th, they took on number 39 Arizona, and it took 7, but they beat them 4-3 to get 6 in a row. And yes, they also will be in OJ, California on Thursday, as they take on Cal in the Pac-12 championships at 9 a.m. And let's see. And they saw Cal early in the season. They lost 4-3 in Tempe. So, I mean, they're right there with Cal, but they'll be taking on Cal on Thursday at 9 a.m. And then Friday and Saturday, I guess it will be, to be determined. Saturday championships, 2 p.m. That's on the Pac-12 networks. Then NCAA regionals are May 3rd through 5th. And then the NCAA Sweet 16 is May 10th through and 11th. And then the quarterfinals are in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And then the NCAA individuals are May 20th through 25th in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So just a heads up, that's what the women, and the men have ahead of them as well. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. And I thank you all for joining me today here on Pitchfork Lunch. Again, if you missed it, miss hearing from Coach Mons, and some other good footage, which I'll leave you with on the way out as well. But everybody have a great rest of your Taco Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow again after spring practice, because they're going Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week because of the spring game on Friday, which is open to everybody, 6 p.m. Mountain America Stadium, Sun Devil Stadium, all the goods right there for you to come check out the maroon and gold spring game, as I'm thinking it'll be pretty entertaining. And you can see why I'm so obviously high on, the team, but the defense, and just excited about the depth. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. So, yeah, on that note, I'm getting out of here. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow. And yes, you know it, Pitchfork Lunchers, as always, forks up. Drop. Good. Simultaneous. Drop, strike. Ready, go. Simultaneous hip. Good. It's going to drop. It's going to go.
Edward pulls off and buries it.